Good evening, Chicago. Hey, yes, we are back again, right here with Can TV, and we are in it to win with you. And thank you for being a part of us in Plump Foundation. And don't forget to call in tonight at 312-738-1060. And I got such a lovely, fantastic, absolutely devastating, piercing, my one and only sister, the world's greatest, Mama Dee. But let me share a little bit about this here phenomenal personality here, which is Eve Angel Mama Dee Love. Nubian is a minister, an author, an educator, an activist, international award-winning poet, and crusader for children's rights. She believes educators and public officials should not use the K word. A kid is an animal, beast, with 4 legs. A child is a human being, person, with 2 legs. Renaming them is morally wrong. Now, you know, Mama Dee is right, and all them politicians and educators that keep using that word, that's foul language. That's a thumbs down on that type of language. You know, we're not going to accept that, you know, in our education from the past, the present, or the future. Oh, yes, you know, see, Mama Dee is about them children, and so am I. I just had to take that off, kind of show you we about the children tonight, y'all. Yeah, okay, help save the children. That's the Black Star Project. Yes, Dr. Phil Jackson. And let's give, you know, the spiritual, as they say, the spiritual relationship with God, and let's give God and the spiritual people like Dr. Phil Jackson a hand. And at the same time, let's give Mama Dee a hand. Mama Dee, you can give your own self a hand too. Thank you very much. Okay, now with that, we're going to get started for this evening, and you might as well relax, and if you got any questions or comments, you're welcome to call and ask Mama Dee or yours truly. We're going to continue to be promoting peace, love, unity, marketing people. And now I'm going to give you my greatest sister in the world from the greatest station in the nation, Can TV. Nobody but Mama Dee.
Well,
hallelujah.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be on your program, and such a rousing introduction, said with such enthusiasm, and I like that kind.
Well, you are welcome.
And you know, when you start out with a kid is an animal beast, and a child is a human being person, you see, lying tongues destroy the body and the soul.
That's
and every
right.
time you call a child a kid, you're lying. And I tell you to your face, you're a liar. We still have kids today, we still have goats today, and they have 4 legs.
That's
and
right.
if you put a child standing up there supposedly in the image and likeness of God, and you put him next to a kid, you would find out one has 4 legs and one has 2 legs. No question about it. No one gave anybody the moral authority to take children out of the image and likeness of a creator like them and put them in the image and likeness of a 4-legged beast. And see, whenever you don't tell the truth, there are always consequences. And those consequences begin when you have enough respect for a dog who also has 4 legs to call him a boy and a girl. Come here, boy.
Tell it.
Come here, girl.
That's right.
The dog has a gender, but a kid, what gender is that? Is that a male or is that a female? So you see the consequences that you brought upon yourself when you started taking gender identity away from children, but you still got it on a dog. They are boys and girls, but children cannot be boys and girls. They cannot be male and female. They got to be a kid. And what gender is that? Is it a male or is it a female? It's an it. And making our children it.
That's right, Mama.
Is wrong. So if you don't tell the truth, there are consequences. That's all I want to say on that.
Well, tell the truth and shame the devil. You know, that's a way of life too. We just want to share this here with you right quickly, you know, so brothers and sisters will see that you can reach Plump Foundation at 312-671-2773, or go to www.theharoldwashingtonfoundation.org. And as a result, we're going to reflect on the world's greatest mayor, y'all. Look at that. Yes. Look at that, Mayor Harold Washington, a man called Harold. And you know, Mama Dee is a legendary historian. She was on the campaign, you know, with Mayor Harold Washington. She was fantastic. She was a phenomenal person that stood out. I remember Mama Dee was in the book too. She and Mayor Harold Washington, a man called Harold's book. You know, I see it was a beautiful picture too of her. And Mama Dee, she is so fantastic. I think that Mayor Washington even wrote her a letter. Okay, let me get a little bit of your literature there, Mama Dee. We're gonna start moving with this too.
My preschool age class met with Harold Washington on the 5th floor of City Hall when they were four years old, because when they were 2 years old, they all wore the great big blue button. And when I worked at the Institute of Positive Education, New Concept Development Center with Haki and Safisha Madabuti, and I was their youngest son, Akili. I was his first teacher when he was 2 years old. So when Harold Washington won the primary, all my little 2-year-olds, and I had 18 2-year-olds with one assistant, and they were not terrible tools, they were terrific tools, and I was taught as a Montessori educator that we must bring ourselves up to the level of a child, because indeed they are our superior. So they came in the classroom, they had the great big buttons on, and they said, "We won, we won, we won."
Hallelujah.
So when they were 4 years old, I said, "Well, you voted for Harold. Let's go down to City Hall to meet him." And we did. And we asked him for a proclamation to establish a day, April 4th, as a day for victims of violence. And he did that. After my sister, Helen Richard, was the only female CTA driver ever slain in the line of duty, was killed on the bus on 74th, now Helen Richard Drive in Ashland, the day before Valentine's Day. That was February 13th. And then Benji Wilson was killed the day before Thanksgiving Day. And that was, I said, I think y'all God is trying to tell us something.
That's right.
Be thankful to him and love one another. So
we have to really work in the community harder, and I know you can do better. Help stop the violence, the robbing, stealing, and killing. And, you know, I got to challenge myself and everybody else in the community, according to what the Honorable Mayor Washington said. We must plump the whole community. So in doing so, we must continue to promote peace, love, unity, marketing people. Help save the children, Baby, Ray Ray, and She Ray children, and stop that insane in the membrane. Now, after I say that, I must give my brothers and sisters what Mama Dee always have taught me, and I'm so glad I'm one of the students. May I continue to speak, Mama Dee?
go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm his elder because of what I'm for myself than you.
Yes, she's my elder. So, you know, that's an African way of life, of tradition, from Chicago throughout America and back to the homeland continent, Africa. So we have to share, you know, the opportunity in just, you know, our way of life of understanding how much we got to put in a conversation of help stop the violence, the robbing, stealing, and the killing. And Mama Dee has been a pioneer in every capacity to help stop the violence. I want to share on this here, and Mama Dee to reflect on this a little bit, what Mama Dee got here for us to see. Yes, okay. Mama Dee, you can go forward with
Well, when you say you started with stopping the violence, I think stopping the violence begins with loving people into shape instead of just whipping them into shape, causing them to get bent out of shape. When you love them into shape, then they will stay in shape.
Right.
And it's a mama's job to teach love. And we haven't been teaching our children love because for this year, 1619 to 2019, 400 years
400 years, Mama Dee.
of kidnapped captives, arrival from the continent of Africa in 1619, August 20, 1619. Now, what we need to do, first of all, is get the difference between what is cattle and what is chattel. I've heard people say, oh, during the slavery time, they were treating us like animals. No, cattle is animals. Cattle is livestock. Cattle is horses and cows and donkeys and stuff like that. That's cattle. Chattel is movable property. We're sitting on seats that roll on wheels. That's chattel.
Tell it.
So there was no and chattel is movable property. This chair moves, and therefore it's chattel. This thing here moves because it walks on two legs, and therefore it is chattel. So legally speaking, there was no difference between this chair thing and this human being thing. So that's what we must get straight. So for 246 years, we were movable property, a thing, not a human being person. And the Dred Scott decision said that. It said blacks have no rights. Nada. Not human rights, not civil rights, not any rights. It said they are subordinate, that means they're under somebody, and they are inferior.
That's a terrible mentality, Mama
Whether
Dee.
they are emancipated or not, this was in the Dred Scott Supreme Court decision. And that decision lasted from, okay, let's go back up a little bit and say, after 246 years, January 31st, 1865, Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment. They signed the 13th Amendment, not the Emancipation Proclamation. That was different. He signed the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery in America and throughout its territories, except when you are convicted of a crime. So when you go to jail under the 13th Amendment, you are a slave. I'll repeat that. When
Tell
you
the
go to
truth.
jail under the
Hallelujah.
13th Amendment that abolished slavery, it left in an exception, except when you are convicted of a crime. Then you are a slave under that same 13th Amendment. So if you are against slavery, you should be against going to jail.
That's
and
right.
you should be resisting going to jail by any means necessary. So let's go, that was January 31st, 1865. Lincoln was assassinated that April in 1865. And December 18, 1865, the Constitution, the 13th Amendment was ratified December 18th, 1865. Now, in 1965, when Minister Farrakhan took 1,000,000 men to Washington, D.C.,
Hallelujah.
I personally drafted an ordinance like I drafted the ordinance for Emmett Till Road when I personally conceived the idea and personally wrote the ordinance because I couldn't get any of the 7 aldermen on 71st Street to do it. And it took 3.5 years because I couldn't get any letters of support to resurrect the legacy of Emmett Till that had been buried for 30 years.
Wow.
So I did that because I wanted to talk about the children that was murdered in the movement, like the 4 little girls, age 11 to 14, and 14-year-old Emmett Till, and
tell
other
the truth.
children. And so what happened was, getting back to 246 years of being a movable property thing called chattel, then you were told you're free. Okay, no money, no land, no home, no family, no education, no transportation, not even a pair of boots to pull yourself up by bootstraps. So that lasted for another 88 years, from 1866 to 1954, when they had little children in the first grade, but too young to express themselves with words, so they expressed themselves with dolls. And when asked the
Hallelujah.
questions, which doll do you look like, the black one or the white one, they recognized themselves as looking like the black one. And then they were asked, well, which one is beautiful and smart and good? And they pointed to the white one, the white one, the white one. Which one is bad and ugly and stupid? They pointed to the black one, the black one, the black one. So living on planet Earth for 6 years approximately, they had zero self-esteem. And the courts and Dr. Cobb
Hallelujah.
concluded that these children have suffered so much so much inferiority. It had nothing to do with palpitations in the chest and cardiac arrest. So much inferiority damage that it is doubtful that they will ever overcome it. Well, guess what? They didn't counsel, they didn't treat, they didn't offer any kind of remedy of any kind. So the children in the 50s and born in the 40s, they grew up, and they passed that damage on down to their children who are in their 50s, and they grew up, and they passed that damage on down to their children who are in their 30s, and they grew up, and they passed that damage untreated on down to their children who are teens and weens. And our situation as a people have gone from worse to worser to worses.
Well, tell the truth, Mama D, and y'all see that she sure told the truth and shamed the devil. Now, and told the truth and shamed the black community. Now, y'all got to do something about this. You all got to help Mama D. Mama D, what is the name of your organization that brothers and sisters may be able to relate to you? And for any further information, you all know you can get in touch with me direct at CAN TV, or you can and call in today. We still got time, y'all. Or you can get in touch with me for jobs or for businesses at 312-671-2773. Now, I want to reflect on something else, Mama D, because Mama D was into some serious dates and times, and look at this. This ain't over with. Mama D taught me this, y'all, till we win.
For all things you're more than accomplished. It's not over until you win.
That's right.
So what 1619 to 2019 is 400 years.
400
And
years.
that 400 years was put in a House Bill 1242. It passed through the United States Congress, and Trump signed it into law on January 8th, 2018. And so it was to have cities and states and different people talk about the impact of kidnapped Africans in America. Now, you can't go through the talk about the impact without getting into that financial impact.
That's right.
So we should have been on House Bill 1242, and it was signed, as I said, into law, and it was it's called the 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. And the purpose of it was to encourage civic, patriotic, historical, educational activities to assist states, facilities, and not-for-profit organizations to further the commemoration and coordinate it for the public scholarly research on the arrival of African Americans in the United States and their contributions to this country. That is a blueprint for reparations right there. You can't go into our contributions without going into that force-free label, crimes against our people's humanity, which was voted so by the United Nations on September 4th in 2001. But getting back to, we're about to go, this year is about to go out, and we have said nothing of significance about the 400-year arrival of kidnapped Africans in this country.
400
and
years and
next,
we still ain't free.
but what I'm talking about, Marcus Garvey said, while others can take the chains off your brain. How did he put it? We're going to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, because while others might free the body, none but ourselves can free the mind. Now, our problem with freeing the mind
Look at my
is
t-shirt, Mama Dee.
our problem with freeing the mind
Yes.
is that we are in denial that those chains exist, and therefore we have no incentive to try to remove the chains from our brain, because we have no in denial that they exist. We have not overcome 246 years of being a movable property thing, followed by 88 years of being under segregation laws, which the Supreme Court ruled in 1954 that segregation only existed to keep the status of the Negro down. It didn't say the people of color down or the black and brown down. It said keep the status of the Negro down.
Yes.
And in the Dred Scott decision, it said blacks. It didn't say people of color or black and brown or anybody else. So when we get to 246 years, followed by 88 years, followed by 11 years, from 1954 to 1965, picketing, protesting, marching, being bullied, bombed, murdered, fighting for the right to enact.
Yes.
To enact the right to vote that was given to us in 1865.
All right.
But in 1965, we did not have it. So
So you believe in blacks' reparation rights now? We deserve to get reparations, blacks' reparations, right?
Reparations is for repairing the damage. And what I'm talking about, I'm trying to say 246 years of crimes against our humanity, followed by 88 years, followed by 11 years trying to get the 15th Amendment, which gave us the right to vote, enacted. It took another 11 years. So you do the math, that's 345 years when we did not have, when we had federal laws against us as a group of people. It wasn't against anybody else. Now, when you subtract 345 from 400, you got 55 years, and this is when the other laws have kicked in.
I know we're going to have to continue this. You see how much knowledge Mama Dee got? So knowledge is power, you know. So let's give her another hand. We want to share this with you too, because just before we go, we want to share, we'll be back next week at the same time, and we want to share this here with you concerning, look at that, all right, Mayor L. Washington and Plump is holding him up. That's my daddy, y'all. We're going to be doing black history, black food, black music, black fun, having fun on November the 24th from 2:30 to 7 p.m. at the Swift Mansion. I'm celebrating my 74th birthday. Yes, 74 years young, y'all. You know, y'all can give me a hand and come and celebrate with us too. Mama Dee, we're going to have to do a special series on you. You're going to have to come back. You know, we appreciate you and everything. And I want to just share this with the community just before we leave, because we only got about 2 minutes left, Mama Dee.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know it's not enough time with all the knowledge and power that you got from God and to the people, but this is something that also we would like to share for you all to be my special guest. That's going to be Wednesday, tomorrow. We're going to be at the Landmark Forum for a special event, and that event will be at 850 South Wabash, and that time is going to be from 7 to 10:15 p.m. And for more information, people, the topic is going to be, what the people is going to discuss is the power of connection. I'm so happy that I'm connected with God. I'm so happy that I'm connected with Mama Dee. I don't know what to do except to stay happy, you know, and hope that we'll be able to see you in the future, because we got jobs for all the brothers and sisters. We got jobs and we got businesses and we got an opportunity to help the young people. You know, Mama Dee, the young people need the old people and the old people need the young people. So, you know, it's everything with you, Mama Dee, and the knowledge that you have and the people, so we can do whatever we got to do. And it's time for me to leave you all just to next week. And we might have a special show for you because I'm going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we're going to be with our family. And happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah, and especially Happy Kwanzaa to you all. We love you. God bless you. Rayon Ya Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. And we salute you. God bless you. We love you. Keep up the good work. Yes. And you have a pleasingly plump day, as Les Brown say. And Mayor Washington said, we must plump the whole community. Mama Dee, last word.
Well, Divinity Day, on December 18th, marks the 154th anniversary of the ratifying of the 13th Amendment, and we'll have to continue it, and because this is 400 years, and the 400 years, 2019, will be up next month.
And
so
we
need to talk about this.
And in 400 years, the Negro, the American so-called Negro, is still not free. You have a blessed night and a better tomorrow. Hallelujah. God bless you.
Way on
Ya Shalom. Assalamu alaikum.
Absolutely.